Today, we're diving into one of the most anticipated tests of the year, a drop test between the brand new iPhone 16 Pro and last year's iPhone 15 Pro. We're putting Apple's claims about the improved ceramic shield to the test. Will the second-gen ceramic shield live up to the hype? Let's find out. Apple claims that the iPhone 16 Pro's new ceramic shield is 50% stronger than the first-gen ceramic shield on the iPhone 15 Pro. Apple Track's Sam Cole decided to put this to the test. He flew all the way to Australia just to be the first to do a side-by-side drop test comparison between the iPhone 16 Pro in Desert Titanium and the iPhone 15 Pro Max in Natural Titanium. The first test was a simple drop from pants pocket height. This drop simulated a common real-life scenario, your phone slipping out of your pocket. The phones were dropped on their sides onto concrete. Both phones survived, but not without a few battle scars. There were some minor dents on the bottom of both the iPhone 15 Pro and iPhone 16 Pro, but nothing too serious yet. However, the iPhone 16 Pro seemed to suffer a bit more cosmetic damage than the iPhone 15 Pro. Next up was the chest-high drop, also on the side of the phones. Again, both devices took some hits to the bottom edges. This time, the iPhone 16 Pro showed a little more damage than its predecessor. Things started getting interesting when Cole raised the stakes and dropped the phones from head height. Both phones survived with more damage to their edges, but the screens remained untouched for now. But here's where things took a turn for the worse for the iPhone 16 Pro. After a drop from above head height, the iPhone 16 Pro's screen shut off completely, turning the phone into a brick. The iPhone 15 Pro, on the other hand, kept on working. Cole had an interesting theory as to why this happened. He speculated that the 30% smaller bezels on the iPhone 16 Pro made the display more vulnerable in the corners, potentially leading to its early demise. This was the first major sign that the smaller bezels might be a weak spot for the new iPhone 16 Pro. Now, we get to the backdrop tests, which are always a fan favorite. Dropping the phones from chest height onto their backs resulted in some shattering for both phones. The rear glass of both devices cracked in the corner, giving us that familiar spiderweb look. However, it's worth noting that the iPhone 16 Pro seemed to handle the impact a little better than the iPhone 15 Pro in this test. The real challenge comes with the dreaded screen down drops. First up was a waist-high drop, and here's where things got even more revealing. The iPhone 16 Pro suffered a large scratch down the side of the display, while the iPhone 15 Pro came away with just some minor damage in the upper corner. Interestingly, the iPhone 15 Pro seemed to handle this test better, with no major issues from the waist-high screen down drop. Meanwhile, the cracks on the iPhone 16 Pro's display got worse. The big test came with the 10th drop of the day and above the head screen down fall. This test caused more damage to the already cracked iPhone 16 Pro display, while the iPhone 15 Pro continued to hold up relatively well. Cole pointed out at this stage that the corners of the iPhone 16 Pro seemed to be its Achilles heel. The case with the iPhone 15 Pro. When comparing both displays side by side, it's clear that the second-generation ceramic shield on the iPhone 16 Pro is indeed stronger overall. So what's the takeaway from all this? If you're planning to get the iPhone 16 Pro, or any iPhone for that matter, it's probably a good idea to use a case. The new ceramic shield is stronger, but even the toughest phone will shatter if you drop it enough times. That's it for today. What are your thoughts on the iPhone 16 Pro's durability? Let me know in the comments section. As always, see you in the next video. In just a few months' time, the iPhone 16 Pro Max will succeed the iPhone 15 Pro Max and take on the mantle as the best and most advanced iPhone out there. Although there's plenty of time until September and a lot can change, we seem to know a lot about the upcoming top iPhone model based on rumors and leaks. How is the iPhone 16 Pro Max shaping up against its predecessor? What's changing and what's staying the same? Let's see how the iPhone 16 Pro Max shapes up against the current best iPhone Apple has in its roster. First up, let's talk about design and size. The iPhone 16 Pro Max will inherit the same design language as the iPhone 15 Pro Max, employing the same titanium frame with a completely flat screen. The major difference between the iPhone 16 Pro Max and the iPhone 15 Pro Max will be size. The upcoming iPhone screen will grow to 6.9 inches across, a significant bump over the iPhone 15 Pro Max's 6.7-inch display. To achieve this, they're likely shrinking the bezels down even further and making the phone itself slightly larger overall. As per the rumors, the iPhone 16 Pro Max will measure 163mm in height and 77.58mm in width versus 159.9mm and 76.7mm for the iPhone 15 Pro Max, respectively. A small but notable change All things considered, the iPhone 15 Pro Max debuted with an action button instead of a mute switch and a USB Type-C port at the bottom, so those two features will be carrying over to the newer model as well. However, the iPhone 16 series will be scoring another button, dubbed the Capture button. Colors-wise, the iPhone 15 Pro Max was available in 4 understated and titanium-inspired colors. We've heard that Apple might use another titanium processing technique that will make the iPhone 16 Pro Max glossier and also more capable of retaining colors. Moving on to display differences. As mentioned, the iPhone 16 Pro Max will come along with a significantly larger display, measuring at 6.9 inches across. Aside from the size, when you don't clearly expect any other major changes, we're certainly getting a liquid Retina XDR display with an OLED panel delivering superb colors, contrast, and exceptional maximum brightness. The screen will support 120Hz ProMotion refresh rate, making scrolling through the interface and on-screen content way smoother. Now let's delve into performance and software. The iPhone 16 Pro Max will feature a second-generation 3nm chip, possibly dubbed Apple A18 Pro. As one can imagine, we expect that the Apple A18 Pro will have better performance than the Apple A17 Pro. Due to the heavily rumored focus on AI for both iOS and the iPhone 16 range, we expect that the iPhone 16 Pro Max will come with a much improved neural engine to take care of all the generative AI features. The iPhone 16 Pro Max will also be a first to debut iOS 18 with a focus on artificial intelligence features. The new iPhone 16 Pro Max will also support faster Wi-Fi 7 and a more power-efficient 5G modem, keeping you future-proofed on the connectivity front. Let's talk about the camera. As the iPhone 15 Pro Max delivers a host of important camera features, chief among which is the new 120mm telephoto lens, the iPhone 16 Pro Max could finally address one of the forgotten cameras that hasn't recently scored any significant overhauls, the ultra-wide. Analyst Ming-Chi Kuo believes that Apple will be introducing a 48-megapixel ultra-wide camera on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. When it comes to audio quality, iPhone Pro Max devices are always up there with the best, setting the benchmarks for all other manufacturers to measure up against. The iPhone 16 Pro Max will be no exception. The same generally applies to haptics too. iPhones are arguably the best devices when it comes to haptic feedback, giving us precise and accurate vibrations that are sufficiently strong yet not overpowering. Lastly, battery life and charging. The iPhone 16 Pro Max will reportedly feature a much larger 4,676 mAh battery compared to the 4,422 mAh battery in the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Charging-wise, we haven't heard anything about a potential charging speed increase, but we hope to see one on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. So far, the iPhone 16 Pro Max is shaping up to be a logical improvement to the iPhone 15 Pro Max, delivering key upgrades in important areas like screen size, performance, AI, and battery life. Thus far, we haven't heard anything particular about a potential price increase, so it's safe to assume that the iPhone 16 Pro Max will start at $1,199 for the 256GB version. Of course, if there's an iPhone 15 Pro Max in your pocket, then you'll probably have few reasons to upgrade to the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Stay tuned for more updates on the iPhone 16 Pro Max as we get closer to its release date. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the latest tech news and reviews. Thanks for watching. Until next time.